Do you own a home or have plans to in the future? Don't miss the Dino and Nelson Show, Sunday afternoons at 1 p.m. on Money Radio, KTLK AM 1150. You'll get all the information you need to know about what's happening in the local real estate market and how to take advantage of that knowledge. How to approach home ownership or mortgage financing with design, vision, and focus, as well as accurate information. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, listen to Real Estate Radio with Dino and Nelson Sunday afternoons at 1 p.m. right here on Money Radio, KTLK, AM 1150.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us at the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk, AM 1150. I want to personally say hello as Dino, but my partner Nelson here feels like he gets gypped every time, so he wants to say hello to you as well.
Hello, listeners. Good to be with you. This is Nelson.
Thank you for joining us. We can be reached every weekend here on K-Talk AM 1150, or you can join us on the web at thedinoandnelsonshow.com. Today we got some special guests for you. Leann Canaday from Remax Fine Homes and FA. Our specialist in urban, what do you call it? Urban what? Development. Urban developments, high rises and stuff like that. We're going to get the definition of that later. But more importantly, right now we got Nelson's famous hot off the net. Hopefully no more wildfires and charred fish, though.
No. But this is hot off the net. This segment's brought to you by First Centennial Mortgage. Real interest rates and guaranteed. If you do have an interest in a mortgage, text the word REFI, R-E-F-I, to 313131. That's REFI 313131. So what I saw off the news today and earlier this week, out of the Register, and I haven't seen this. I know that there's been an upswing in sales activity, but the Register published an article about a luxury home down in Ocean Ranch selling for $3 million 3 days on the marketplace. Does that not signal that the market's changing?
It does. You know, in that high-end market, though, which Leann will speak to later, it's one of those things. I know she was saying that the period of time, the average period, is much longer than that. But you know, when you got a great house and it's hot, and either it's got a spectacular view or something spectacular about it,
or just simply priced right,
it's just gonna go. Period.
So out of the OC Register, they also posted this article earlier in the week: California distressed property sales at a 4-year low. And they've been running, I think, at 50% of the market of sales activity. It's now shrunk down. I think the number was 42 or 44% of sales. And so we're seeing a decline of the distressed properties.
And we've been saying that for a long time, because it just in our market alone, it seems like there's multiple offers now. The price is going up every single time. I mean, the asking price is no longer even a question. It's how much more are you going to bid above it.
It's just a starting point.
Yeah, it's a starting point. So the market's hot.
We've heard that story. There was one of our referral partners that was talking about presenting a $600,000 bid and then had instructions to continue to increase it in $15,000 increments until the seller accepted.
Wow.
Craziness. All right, out of the L.A. Times, and I'm certain you're close to this story. No takers at auction of Octomom's house, huh?
I wonder why. I mean, that's
don't
got to
know.
be a spectacular place after having 8 kids running around.
Yeah, 14.
14
kids.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think it was a 14-bedroom house. I don't know why it didn't sell. It seems to have made headlines. And I don't even know the whole celebrity status of having 14 kids. I guess that's it. But it made headlines in the L.A. Times. So there you have it.
When did you start reading TMZ? Come on, that was L.A. Times?
It was
L.A.
Times.
You're actually reporting on that?
Exactly. So out of Zillow, you know the comedian Martin Lawrence. He's decided to move into the landlord business. He's renting out his property. Dino, this is right in your price range. $200,000 a month.
I made the guy an offer of $180, and he rejected it.
He rejected it. Well,
and on top of that, he said he doesn't like my credit.
Yeah, he did.
Can
He
you
doesn't
believe
like
that
your
guy?
credit score.
Can't believe that.
$200,000 a month. I mean, I've never heard of something like that.
That's got to be. He just thinks he's the movie star, and that I guess the house deserves that kind of money just because it's his, which is ridiculous. Right? I mean, how big is it? Do you even know?
I don't know. It's under the mansion category, but I just saw that $200,000 price tag. I knew my application was just short of that, and so I wasn't even in the running. I'm glad you bid up to $180.
In case you just jumped into your car, you're listening to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk, AM 1150. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335 or at thedinoandnelsonshow.com.
So to finish off this segment, of course, we got to touch on rates. And First Centennial's rates are, I think you called them ridiculously stupid at one point. And so rates, they've now hit another record low. Well, last week we were talking about the new low, so it's got to be the new low. 15-year rates below 2 3/4%, 30-year rates below 3.5%. The jumbo category, I can't help but just continue to reference this, up to $2 million, down below 4% for a straight 30-year fixed rate. It's just unbelievable.
It's ridiculously stupid is out there to describe rates right now. They are so low, you guys. Do not sit around on the fence thinking you're gonna nab or they're gonna get lower below 3%. Just take action. Call us at 888-814-3335 or text the word refi to 313131 and take advantage of the rates right now. They may not be here. You just don't know when they're going to go up.
Some of the best names that you've come up with, the Antichrist loan and the ridiculously stupid loan. Well done, Dino.
Thank you. Once again, you're listening to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk AM 1150. If you have any interest in refinancing, and you should if your rate is over 4%, text the word refi to 313131. Text the word refi to 313131. We'll be right back after this commercial.
You want to invest in today's real estate market and take advantage of the low values, but the property needs work. What do? Polaris Equity Group provides an answer with its market-exclusive 100% rehab program. The Polaris loan covers the purchase price, down payment, rehab budget, 6 months of interest, and lender's costs, all in exchange for a profit split between you and us. Call Polaris Equity Group to hear more about it. 949-727-4333. That's 949-727-4333. Take advantage of their exclusive 100% rehab program. 949-727-4333. Or find us online at polarisequitygroup.com.
This is Nelson from the Dino and Nelson Show, and I want to talk to you about our expertise outside the studio. Combined, Dino and I bring 45 years of mortgage experience to First Centennial Mortgage. We've successfully advised our clients through the most challenging economic and mortgage times. The recession of the late 80s, the housing crisis of the early 90s, the equity lending exuberance of the early 2000s, and now the mortgage meltdown and loss of home values since 2008. Bottom line, professional and experienced loan advisors to help you protect your home and real estate investments. This week has brought new attention to high balance loans, jumbo fixed rates up to $2 million with 30-year rates below 4 1/4, 15-year rates below 3 3/4, and if you can believe it, 5-year fixed rates in the high 2s. Let's face it, fixed interest rates in the high 2s for loan amounts up to $2 million. Call Dino and Nelson, expert loan advisors, direct at 888-814-3335. Ask about their jumbo fixed rates in the high 2s up to $2 million. That's Dino and Nelson at 888-814-3335. 888-814-3335 or the DinoandNelsonShow.com.
All rates referred can change without notice. First Centennial Mortgage licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 132763.
We have reviewed your application for credit, and at this time we are unable to approve you. The dreaded credit denial letter. You've had strong credit, but life got in the way and companies are turning you down. The Dino and Nelson Show has a solution with Saving My Credit. Saving My Credit offers highly skilled specialists and a research methodology that is consistently applied to improving your financial situation. Nagging collection accounts, late pays, tax liens, bankruptcies, charge-offs are some of the many examples of negative reporting that leads to credit denial. Saving My Credit applies rigorous energy, experience, and resourcefulness to raise your credit score. Your credit is approved. It would feel so much better, wouldn't it? Contact Saving My Credit at 714-699-4680 or savingmycredit.com. That's 714-699-4680. 714-699-4680 or online at savingmycredit.com.
This is Nelson from the Dino and Nelson Show, and finally, a reputable legal firm. Cda Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435. 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call Cda Law Center at 877-499-4435 or online at cdalawcenter.com.
Welcome back to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk, AM 1150. Next, we have our special guest, Leann Canaday from the Canaday Group, RE/MAX Fine Homes, brought to you by USA National Title, seasoned veterans, superior value, and faster turnaround.
Dino, I'm excited about our guest. Leann, thanks so much for being with us. I'm amazed. RE/MAX, the largest real estate firm in the world, and I didn't realize this, but $82 billion in residential sales to the international community last year. I mean, they're just out of the park. Huge organization. And of course, the Canaday Group, among the top 20 teams in the U.S. for RE/MAX Fine Homes. The credentials that you have, I mean, I could read these off for our entire segment, but Leann, a seasoned veteran, an absolute superstar in your marketplace. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much.
I'm going to call her the movie star of the real estate industry.
Well, and it's interesting because a movie component, she's been on TV since 1991. Is that correct?
I believe so. 92, yeah.
So 92. So I got to ask the question, what prompted you to take real estate to television? I mean, that's obviously a pioneer decision, a visionary. What happened?
Happenstance, actually.
Yeah.
There was a Home and Gardens channel TV show, and that TV show, Home and Gardens it was Orange County based, and
Right.
Home and Gardens channel decided because they were a national TV show, that they didn't want to have local programming any longer. So the producer of that show came to me and said, Leann, since you've always had half of my show and you're the only one that really pays me, I'd like to do a show just with you. And that was in about 1992. And at that point, I was on Cox Cable. And then I went to Cox and Time Warner. But because DirecTV and satellite and all of those other venues are taking a bigger portion from the cable channels, I went to KDOC LA back 2 years ago now, and I'm up to almost 20 million viewers.
That's the staggering number. KDOC reaches almost 20 million people. I mean, what a fabulous medium for promoting your business and promoting California.
I get a lot of activity out of that show.
Yeah, fantastic.
Leann, you just showcase basically these mega mansions and just the most gorgeous homes I've ever seen, right?
I do a lot of that. I do a lot of showcasing fabulous properties, but I also do other things like what you do. I do little hints, little tips, negotiating, staging, FICO scores,
Sure.
things
Anything
like
that has to do with real estate.
And in this marketplace, I mean, one of the challenges is the multiple offers. Have you spoken to your community, your viewers about that?
Well, in actuality, on the high end of the market, we're not getting so many multiple offers. But in my short sale division, we do get a lot of multiple offers.
Yeah, and this is a whole different segment of your company. Tell us a little bit about the short sale division.
Well, we actually, I started it in about 06 or 07, I believe it was, when they came out with the CDPE designation, and I was one of the first 200 to get it. I was kind of a guinea pig.
CDPE stands for?
Certified Distressed Property Expert.
Okay. Did you know that, Dino? You're laughing at me. You didn't know that.
You got to use that in Stump, Dino. I got it.
Okay.
Of course I knew that.
I'm coming at you with the acronyms next.
So anyway, when I found out what the difference between a short sale and a foreclosure did for your credit and for your security rating and for basically your entire life, I decided I needed to get into this business. So I opened up a short sale division, and I actually give monthly short sale seminars.
And it's amazing because there is so much misinformation about short sales and just the distressed property, the foreclosure process. I mean, we hear through the buyers and borrowers some of the most crazy opinions on how this works. I mean, I think it's terrific that you can actually sort through that.
Well, I actually do the seminar with a CPA and an attorney. So even if I know the answer, at least they're licensed to give the answer, which takes a lot of weight off me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So do you mostly have buyers or sellers that come to that?
I used to only do it for buyers, but I find that buyers would prefer to be mixed in and not notarized.
Sure.
So we have a lot of I said sellers, didn't I? Excuse me. Sellers don't like to be recognized as being in that position. Having a short sale. We get a lot of buyers. The first time I came out in the Orange County Business Journal with a short sale seminar ad, I had to bring in 3 new tables and like 30 different chairs.
Have you seen the numbers fall off, or are they growing in terms of audience and looking at people that are trying to understand that?
It's very odd. I mean, it depends on where I get it out there. When I put it on my TV show and get it in the Orange County Business Journal and the Times and the Register, I get a ton of activity. In
case you just jumped into your car, you're listening to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk AM 1150. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335. And if you'd like some more information on Leann's short sale seminars, look us up on the web at thedinoandnelsonshow.com, and we'll put some information there for you.
So this segment is brought to you by USA National Title, seasoned veterans, superior value, fast turnaround. Leann, I wanted to ask you about just your vision for RE/MAX Homes.
Oh, thank you for asking, Nelson.
So tell me, I mean, obviously you're in a marketplace that is growing rapidly now. I mean, it just seems crazy, Dino, that just, maybe a year ago or less than that, real estate was almost bad. And the kind of communication out there that there was a heavy level of distress properties, that the market was perhaps still being pushed down in values. Amidst all of this, Leann, you're expanding your platform.
I certainly am. Yes, I started with a store in Laguna Beach. Then a few years ago, I opened one in Newport Beach at Newport Center. And now we're in the process of opening one up on the water in Huntington Harbor at Peters Landing.
Right there at Peters Landing. And you're right on the water, correct?
We are right on the water.
So your choices are to go to work at Laguna Beach or at Fashion Island or on the water in Huntington Beach.
Exactly.
That's not so bad.
Not so bad at all. I'm basically blanket Coast Highway.
Yeah, fantastic. And how many years have you been in the business?
Oh, over 30 years. I started when I was 10. Why are you laughing? I don't get it.
I don't get it.
So a seasoned veteran, 30 plus years. Yeah. And don't let her good looks fool you, because she is a little bulldog when it comes to negotiating. This woman looks all nice and classy and everything, but when you're interested in buying or selling a house, she will take good care of you.
Absolutely.
I didn't know you could see me on radio.
Well, you can when you get to our website and Facebook, you can.
Oh.
So 30 years of experience, obviously all sorts of different markets. You've seen recessions before, as I have. Dino doesn't even know. This is his first recession that he's going through, so he's a little bit young at this. But going through these marketplaces, you just have to adapt. And amongst this, where other people are reeling from real estate, you've chose to expand and broaden the RE/MAX Fine Homes moniker. What led to that?
Opportunity. I saw an opportunity, and I wanted to grow it. And I actually had agents come to me to open the Huntington Harbor store. So they found the venue, they found the location, and they said, Leann, we want you to open that store. So, yeah, I did.
And in that marketplace, you're specializing in the luxury home category primarily, correct?
Absolutely. We like to be on the water or on the sand.
And go ahead.
What areas does that hit? Because we say Huntington Harbor, but it also surrounds Seal Beach, I believe, and Long Beach. But how far out do you go from that office?
The Huntington Harbor store will focus mainly on the harbor, on Sunset Beach, on Surfside. We'll be right along that Coast Highway. And we go down as far as, the main beach in Huntington.
And that whole area is a pretty boutique-like area, isn't it? I mean, it's a very small, but it's something that your agents have to really know intricately. They have to know that area, right?
Well, my agents are experts in that waterfront area, yes.
That's all they
this
work,
is the thing,
basically.
you know, like we were talking on the drive up, those Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, Huntington Beach markets, okay, they're all coastal properties, they're all luxury homes, but distinctly different properties.
Well, except for they're a good switch. Huntington Harbor is a real good switch for Newport Harbor. You can get a lot better, bigger house for a
Bigger
lower
bang for the
price.
buck?
Yes, in Huntington Harbor. And there's also a good switch between Laguna Beach and Newport Beach, and also between Laguna Beach and, let's say, Dana Point.
So what do you mean by good switch? What are you referencing?
I mean a buyer who is looking at, let's say, Laguna Beach could go to Dana Point. A buyer that's looking at, say, Huntington Harbor may go to Newport Harbor, or vice versa.
And are the markets the same? Are they going through the same cycle, the same influences, or are they different in terms of sale points or resistance to things that are taking place in the market?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Nelson, because I have some data that is very interesting in terms of markets, and it seems like markets are more price oriented than location oriented, although locations are very, very important. Everyone knows that inventory is way down in Orange County. I think it's down pretty much everywhere. But
is inventory down in the luxury?
Oh, yes. Inventory is down.
Across the board.
Across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But the time on the market for the higher end is a lot longer. In fact, when you get up to the $4 million price tag, they're $4 million and above. Time on the market is 34 months, an average. Almost 3 years. Yes.
You know what, though, when I hear that stat, I got to say it's like, the ones that have been on that long, the market was just a complete disaster 3 years ago. I'd like to see all the new ones that have been up in the last 12 months what their average time has been.
Would that make a difference if it was just a 12-month read?
Well, yes, because of more than one reason. 3 years ago, people still had in their brain 06, 07, right?
Right.
So those sellers, it was hard for them to adapt to the new economic climate. So people putting their house on the market today are aware of the economic climate and will be priced more reasonably.
In case you just jumped in your car, you're listening to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk AM 1150. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335. Don't change the station. We'll be right back.
In a chaotic real estate market, you want peace of mind when it comes to the home you're purchasing. Roadrunner Exterminating, a family-owned and operated company providing structural repairs, local treatments, and fumigation. Roadrunner Exterminating is a licensed, bonded, and insured expert in termite, pest control, and general contracting. For fast and efficient service, plus the peace of mind of knowing the condition of your new home, call Roadrunner Exterminating at 866-398-BUGS. That's 866-398-BUGS. Or on the web at roadrunnerexterminating.com. As always, mention the Dino and Nelson Show and get a free home inspection. 866-398-BUGS or roadrunnerexterminating.com. General Contractor License 922404. Nominal fee for escrow inspections.
This is Nelson from the Dino and Nelson Show, and I want to tell you about one of our show partners, Efficient Services Escrow. As the name implies, Efficient Services Escrow provides lenders, realtors, home buyers, and sellers with fast, efficient, but most importantly, worry-free specialty escrow services. Dino and I know firsthand that real estate transactions can be complex and layered with areas of exposure for details to be handled incorrectly. The number one reason we work with Efficient Services Escrow is their seasoned veterans are reliable, proactive, and best of all, provide us worry-free escrow services. With any real estate sale, purchase, or refinance, call our trusted friends at Efficient Services Escrow, 949-208-9600. That's 949-208-9600, and let them know that Dino and Nelson sent you. Efficient Services Escrow at 949-208-9600 or online at efficientescrow.com.
What do you do when your bank simply says no to your real estate purchase? Polaris Equity Group provides an answer. Yes. Our flexible purchase and bridge loan programs are the direct result of our involvement in more than 3,000 transactions of varying size and complexity. Since 1991, Polaris has completed over $500 million in real estate investment transactions using both debt and equity solutions. When the bank says no, call Polaris Equity Group to hear yes. 949-727-4333. That's 949-727-4333. Logical decisions to execute a timely close. 949-727-4333. Or find us online at polarisequitygroup.com.
We've reviewed your application for credit at this time, and we're unable to approve you. The dreaded credit denial. You had strong credit, but life got in the way and companies are turning you down. The Dino and Nelson Show has a solution with Saving My Credit. Saving My Credit offers highly skilled specialists and a research methodology that is consistently applied to improve your financial situation. Nagging collection accounts, late pays, tax liens, bankruptcies, charge-offs are some of the many examples of negative reporting that leads to credit denial. Saving My Credit applies rigorous energy, experience, and resourcefulness to raising your credit score. How about this instead? Your credit is approved. It sounds so much better. Contact Saving My Credit at 714-699-4680 or savingmycredit.com. That's 714-699-4680. 714-699-4680 or online at savingmycredit.com. This is Nelson from the Dino and Nelson Show, and I want to talk to you about our expertise outside the studio. Combined, Dino and I bring 45 years of mortgage experience to First Centennial Mortgage. We've successfully advised our clients through the most challenging economic and mortgage times. The recession of the late 80s, the housing crisis of the early 90s, the equity lending exuberance of the early 2000s, and now the mortgage meltdown and loss of home values since 2008. Bottom line, professional and experienced loan advisors to help you protect your home and real estate investments. This week has brought new attention to high balance loans, jumbo fixed rates up to $2 million with 30-year rates below 4.25%, 15-year rates below 3.75%, and if you can believe it, 5-year fixed rates in the high 2s. Let's face it, fixed interest rates in the high 2s for loan amounts up to $2 million. Call Dino and Nelson, expert loan advisors, direct at 888-814-3335. Ask about their jumbo fixed rates in the high 2s up to $2 million. That's Dino and Nelson at 888-814-3335. 888-814-3335 or the DinoandNelsonShow.com.
All rates referred can change without notice. First Centennial Mortgage licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 132763.
The Dino and Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Dino and Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Welcome back to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk, AM 1150. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. Or if you'd like some information on refinancing, text the word REFI, R-E-F-I, to 313131. This next segment is brought to you by Best Chauffeur Worldwide, reaching your destination safe, secure, and on time. So our next guest, Fa, and I'm going to let you pronounce your last name because it's a tough one.
Karamzadeh.
Karamzadeh. Is that right?
Yep.
Excellent. Fa is the Vice President of Development at RE/MAX Fine Homes. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Big fans. Absolutely, guys.
We were talking about just the different markets that you're in and how they have distinctions of their own. The length of time on the market for $4 million properties and above, and I think that for properties in the what I'll call the lower price range, I think maybe the $1 million to $2 million, the marketing time is much quicker. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. It just depends on the submarket. The areas that we really focus on are urban developments, so mid-rises, high-rises, and fortunately in those areas, a lot of these individuals, they purchase at the height of the market at a difficult time in the mid-2000s, and so we have a lot of distressed properties in there, and so subsequently we're priced right for a lot of these.
And that's been your specialty, is the urban development.
Correct.
Define what that is for our listeners.
Urban developments are stacked environments, high-rises, mid-rises. We're seeing them more so in the Orange County area, but LA's had them for decades. So I think moving ahead, once we get past this little bump in the overall market, we'll see them built more and more.
And the fact that in Orange County, these property types coming in at the peak of the market, now they've unfortunately been fallen victim to the recession. Values have been slashed. Have we seen the same drop in values in the urban development category as we have in the single-family category?
Not necessarily. I think it just depends on the submarket. I have some markets where properties that sold originally for about $300,000 ballooned up $600,000 and have now decreased dramatically, probably by 50%. So it just depends on your submarket and really where the property is positioned.
And you're talking about the submarket and where the property is geographically located. What areas do we see a concentration of this property type?
In Orange County, Irvine, where we're seeing a lot of that there with the high rises and the mid rises.
Right by the airport, right?
Absolutely. We call that actually the airport area. So we have a lot of mid rises there.
On the coast? Not so much in Orange County.
Long Beach has a few, right?
Long Beach, definitely Long Beach. As you move north on PCH, you're going to see that more and more, yeah.
And let me ask you this question. There's a lot of talk about how we have to go up because we're running out of space, but
Correct.
It seems like we still have space. So is it really that we're going up because we're out of space, or we're going up because it's a different lifestyle change, and it's going towards that here in California now?
I think you nailed it. I think it's a lifestyle change, and we're seeing that with the individuals that are purchasing these properties. Individuals who really like to lock up and go and not deal with the upkeep of a home. These are individuals that
are those single people mostly, or
we have a lot of corporate exec single types, professional athletes. We have a lot of those in that area. It just depends on what lifestyle you want to take up. That's what it comes down to.
Well, and Dino, these buildings, some of the buildings that I've been in, the developments, they have everything self-contained. There's the gym, there's in some cases the supermarket, the dry cleaning.
They're awesome. I've been to a few of them, especially the ones down by the airport. They are just such awesome buildings. They got everything. The only thing that bugs me is if you have a dog and you have to go down 20 flights of stairs just to let the little guy do his business,
Yeah, the developers are really savvy. They use these things called elevators now. Do you know? That's good. So in this marketplace,
right. By the way, did I ever tell you that your beep just isn't funny?
So in this marketplace, I want to ask you these questions because I saw this other article that was published citing 5 reasons why the market is heating up, and I'm wondering if it's impacting your marketplace in the urban section as well. Prices are still low. Are they leveled off? Are they going up like what we see in certain marketplaces?
It really just depends on our inventory. When we're dealing with these mid-rises, high-rises, we're dealing with high density, and so the high density obviously accounts for a lot more properties on the market. So we have to get through a lot of properties within a little geographic area before we get to a point that the prices are equalizing to a point that it is going to fluctuate up or down.
And when you're talking,
and we're not there yet, though.
So the inventory is not dried up as much as we've seen in other marketplaces.
Not so much. It just really, like I said, depends on the inventory level of the submarket or development. For example, some buildings are high rises. We only have 200 properties in the community, so we're getting through a lot of the distressed properties quicker there. But communities, we're sitting on about 500 to 600 properties.
So these are mega developments.
Exactly.
And so obviously another influencer has been the combination of good credit and cheap financing.
Right.
That's got to impact all marketplaces. Affordability, the impression, at least that I have, is that the high-rise units, that it's kind of, I would think the high end. It would be expensive. Is it affordable? What sort of price ranges do we see I know it varies from market to market, but as an example in the airport area?
For example, we'll talk about 2 different high-rises. One is the Plaza there in Irvine, and price range is anywhere from about $400,000 if you're fortunate and you get a good deal, all the way up to about $1.4 million for penthouses. You go over to the Marquee, I'd say about half a mile away, your properties are ranging from $350,000 all the way up to about 800,000. So it just depends on the area. And these properties, like Dino was saying, gorgeous communities. They really cater to the individual who's wants to come home to a resort almost. You know, you have concierge, you have 24-hour security at a lot of these buildings, cameras everywhere. The fitness center is just immaculate. So it's individuals that really, when they come home, they stay there.
And, you know, as far as cost goes, there's a lot of talk about how expensive the HOA dues are there, because I believe they're pretty high, right? Like $1,000 or something.
Depends on the community, but yeah, you're on.
So the things, though, that the people have to consider is, number one, you have a top-notch gym that others would pay $100 a month for. You have, I believe, some of the utilities included, like cable TV or internet, right? Correct. That's another good $100, $200 right there.
Right.
You don't have a gardener. That's another $100. So you got to kind of think about the whole thing, about the amenities that they offer. It is amazing.
And, you know, some people, there's a lot of individuals out there that'll pay a premium in order not to have to deal with making a payment for a monthly fitness bill, or to deal with, you know, other extra fees that you'd have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Are investors coming into this marketplace and capturing these units, turning around and using them as rental properties?
Absolutely. It just depends on, you know, investors are very savvy out there. It just depends on if it pencils. But a lot of these communities are getting to a point where it does pencil and it makes sense.
That's one of the stimulants of this surge in the marketplace, and one of them was the rent-to-mortgage ratio. Sure. And looking at how rents have escalated, and it's much more affordable to buy a property. And certainly in the Orange County market, if you're talking about capturing a home in the $400,000 or $500,000 range, that is affordable by Orange County standards.
Absolutely. And the other thing too, guys, that, and Fa, you'll probably know the answer to this. The key, you're saying $350 on the low end. Mm-hmm. What did that place go for at its peak?
At its peak, it just depends on the floor, obviously,
Sure.
and what your view is. But at its peak, that exact property, you'd be surprised, about $750, $800.
Amazing.
That particular property. But if you go up to the very top, obviously it's a lot more.
And the penthouses were like $2.5 million or something.
Oh, easily,
right?
yeah. They started
and now what are they going for?
Penthouse about 8 to 9. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
And who's buying the penthouses? Is it athletes? Is it just
If you hadn't signed up for Martin Lawrence's property at $200,000 a month, it could have been you.
If I didn't have 3 kids and all this other good stuff too, it probably could have been me.
Yeah, that's right. There is that perception that's now seeping into the marketplace in the lower price ranges, let's say $1 million and below, where there are examples of multiple offers, and the mindset, at least by the multiple offers, that the bargain's ending, that there's this rush to come in. Do you think that the bargain of real estate is ending?
No, not at all. No, there's several years of getting through a lot of inventory the banks are sitting on. I think there's a lot of distressed properties. There's a lot of still funky financing out there that we need to get through. So still a lot of time, and it's a great time for people to get off the sidelines at this point with those interest rates the way they are, to step in and purchase either an investment property or first-time home buy. It's a great time.
You're listening to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk, AM 1150. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. It's 888-814-3335, or at the DinoandNelsonShow.com.
This segment is still brought to you by Best Chauffeured Worldwide, reaching your destination safe, secure, and on time, which is exactly what we did today, Dino. It was not a bad ride. So, let me ask you. Okay, you've specialized in the urban market, but you're new to RE/MAX. How did you come into the RE/MAX organization?
Well, you know, I've been a part of Orange County real estate for, believe it or not, entering my 16th year. And before that, we were with boutique companies. And I met Leann, I'd say about 2 years ago, and I don't know if you actually remember, but she did a deal with me at a high-rise, actually, a high-rise penthouse. We
met through a transaction.
Met through a transaction.
Did she beat you up,
no, she was actually pretty tame. She was nice. Yeah. So we met that way, and I was fortunate to be leaving a company, and it was just perfect timing. I met Leann again, and her vision, her drive, her motivation to constantly work hard parallels what I've been doing my whole life, and we chatted about that previously.
First in and last to go home.
Exactly. First in the office, last to go home, and like I said, we paralleled each other, and so far it's been a good connection.
Leann is the only one that I've seen that runs on a 25-hour day.
Amazing. Yeah.
Now, you've been brought in specifically not only to sell homes, but to recruit, right? You're going to build the business.
Absolutely. So we're Vice President of Corporate Development. The first thing I wanted to make sure is internally we were running efficiently, and we have a culture that the agents are happy and thrive in. And I think we've gotten to that point, and now it's just a matter of getting the word out that we're set up for business and we're ready to bring in more agents. And really the main focus is to have ethical, hardworking, driven individuals, very similar to myself and Leann.
When we come back, let's talk about that. I want to understand a little bit more about what makes RE/MAX Fine Homes distinctive.
You're listening to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk AM 1150. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. It's 888-814-3335. We'll be right back.
We've reviewed your application for credit at this time, and we're unable to approve you. The dreaded credit denial. You had strong credit, but life got in the way and companies are turning you down. The Dino and Nelson Show has a solution with Saving My Credit. Saving My Credit offers highly skilled specialists and a research methodology that is consistently applied to improve your financial situation. Nagging collection accounts, late pays, tax liens, bankruptcies, charge-offs are some of the many examples of negative reporting that leads to credit denial. Saving My Credit applies rigorous energy, experience, and resourcefulness to raising your credit score. How about this instead? Your credit is approved. It sounds so much better. Contact Saving My Credit at 714-699-4680 or savingmycredit.com. That's 714-699-4680. 714-699-4680 or online at savingmycredit.com.
What do you do when your bank simply says no to your real estate purchase? Polaris Equity Group provides an answer. Yes. Our flexible purchase and bridge loan programs are the direct result of our involvement in more than 3,000 transactions of varying size and complexity. Since 1991, Polaris has completed over $500 million in real estate investment transactions using both debt and equity solutions. When the bank says no, call Polaris Equity Group to hear yes. 949-727-4333. That's 949-727-4333. Logical decisions to execute a timely close. 949-727-4333. Or find us online at polarisequitygroup.com.
In a chaotic real estate market, you want peace of mind when it comes to the home you're purchasing. Roadrunner Exterminating, a family-owned and operated company providing structural repairs, local treatments, and fumigation. Roadrunner Exterminating is a licensed, bonded, and insured expert in termite, pest control, and general contracting. For fast and efficient service, plus the peace of mind of knowing the condition of your new home, call Roadrunner Exterminating at 866-398-BUGS. That's 866-398-BUGS. Or on the web at roadrunnerexterminating.com. As always, mention the Dino and Nelson Show and get a free home inspection. 866-398-BUGS or roadrunnerexterminating.com. General Contractor License 922404. Nominal fee for escrow inspections.
The Dino and Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Dino and Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Welcome back to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk AM 1150. You can be reached at 888-814-3335. This next segment is brought to you by Cda Law Center, providing reliable loan modification services.
You know, that's hard to find, too. Reliable loan modifications. I don't know if those two words actually fit together, but Cda Law does a great job. They're straight up. They know what they're doing. They understand the model of modifying homes, and they have success stories, which instead of just individuals paying for fees and getting nowhere, they do a great job. Fa, we've been talking in this last segment about your expanding the company and recruiting, and you've now positioned that the company is on sound footing, has the kind of culture that you want to present. What's the recruiting environment like?
Well, you know, it's actually interesting. I thought it'd be a lot more difficult to bring agents over, but many of them would love to work with individuals that are like-minded and driven, and the notion that Leann's in the office and seeing Leann working hard day in and day out is actually making our phones ring pretty nicely at this point.
For both of you, you have that coaching mindset, the mentoring of bringing people up in the industry, and as well having people that maybe just need a fresh start and a new opportunity. Leann, what's it like? I mean, you have that coach's hat on all the time, right?
Well, I'm actually coaching my daughter right now. So, yeah, and I'm always working on it. I have a lot of buyer's agents. I have a lot of staff that I'm always training.
I wish Christa lead this. She actually helped me out on a transaction, and she is starting in the industry. I think she has, 3 years under her belt on a full-time basis. On a full-time.
She passed her exam about 3 or 4 years ago, but until she graduated from college, I wouldn't let her sell.
Well, and what she did is, which I found so rare in this business environment, she did everything and exactly what she said she was going to do. She followed up when she said she was going to follow up. I mean, I think that's kind of this RE/MAX culture, Fa, that you want to build with individuals that actually do what they say they're going to do.
You know, I'm sure it is RE/MAX's culture, but I'm sure it's also the fear of God when your mom's going to kick your butt if she doesn't take care of her clients.
It could be. So, Fa, about the culture, I mean, right. RE/MAX is a unique organization. Why is that?
We provide a lot of resources for agents to thrive. The goal for us is what a lot of people don't know about Leann is she's very giving of her time, right. In philanthropical ways, and so we've clarified with each other we really want to have an office where resources are readily available to all our agents, and we're ready to help them at any point to get them to a point that they need to be.
And that's a unique proposition because most of the real estate community is built off of these rogue agents. They're part of an organization, but they don't have that infrastructure and support.
Right, and it's about building a family, having that culture where everyone's willing to help each other at any given time, because at the end of the day, we just want to see everyone succeed. That's the main goal for us, I think.
And RE/MAX has a huge network. We're in 90 different countries throughout the world, and with all of the foreign buyers out there right now, you want to be in that international marketplace. Absolutely. And networking with the other agents throughout the world. Wouldn't you say, Fa?
Very important. Very important to connect yourself internationally at this time in the marketplace.
It's a treat to have someone with your experience joining us. We thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. Again, this is Leann Canaday and Fa from RE/MAX Fine Homes, Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, and Huntington Harbor, experts in that coastal community. Thank you, guys.
So we're at the fabulous Stump Dino segment of our program, and some questions that have come out from some of our listeners. Out of Torrance, the question came up on reverse mortgages. Do reverse mortgages make any sense?
They do. For the right person, they make a lot of sense. And I'm actually bringing a friend of ours on, Noah, who is the reverse mortgage specialist, just to answer this question specifically. Noah, are you there?
I am. Hello, Dino.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. Thanks for joining us today. A couple questions about reverse mortgages. What are the requirements basically to get one?
Well, first of all, to be eligible, you need to be at least 62 years old, and you need to have equity in your home.
So 62 years old, Nelson's age, and what else?
And you need to have equity in your home.
How much equity typically?
Well, typically the max loan to value that they'll lend is 80%. So you need a minimum of 20. But for the typical reverse mortgage eligible person, it's about 35% equity.
Okay. And then I know it's a big one just because there's a lot of misconceptions about reverse mortgages. What are the typical misconceptions about it?
Well, the biggest misconception that I educate people about is that for some reason people believe that they lose ownership to their home, which is this is an FHA loan. You maintain title exactly how you had it before. It's still your house. And also another misconception is people don't realize that you can actually make payments on a reverse mortgage if you like to.
The cornerstone of it, though, is that you're receiving money from your home, not paying for that mortgage, correct?
Correct. You no longer have, you never have to make a payment for as long as you live in the house. And yes, there are options where you can receive monthly income every month.
So for Dino, for the case that you worked on, where it was an elderly woman and she had, I think she lost her husband, if I remember this correctly. She only had Social Security as income.
She was going into debt every single month,
living off of the credit cards, right?
Absolutely. And then the more she did that, just the more she was losing every month. And even though she has a ton of equity, she's at risk of losing her home because she can't afford the payments anymore.
So this would be an example where the reverse mortgage would be a perfect fit for her. She has equity in the home. She's lost her husband, only has Social Security to live off of, and this would augment her income and actually give her additional monies to live off of.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. I've saved people out of foreclosure. And also, guys, you can buy a home with the reverse mortgage. And remember, there's no credit qualifications. You don't have to have good credit to get a reverse mortgage. You just need to be eligible and have equity, or in the case of a purchase, enough money for the down payment.
No, we won't hold you up anymore. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Okay, appreciate it. And if you'd like more information on reverse mortgages, just text the word refi to 313131. Text the word refi to 313131, and we'll help you out with that.
All right, this next question out of Stevenson Ranch, and I think it's a legitimate question, Dino. Why are the loan disclosures so confusing? I thought they were supposed to make it easier for the borrower to understand.
Thank you. I love that question. And the reason why I love it is because I hate our disclosure program so much. The government has come out and said we are going to make the borrower's life simpler. It's going to be easier for them to understand. And they have done such a great job at confusing the heck out of every single person who looks at those things.
What may happen is legislation that is proposed on the one fee, so you just have one charge that you announce, and that's it.
Yeah, but even that, they throw in so many other things that nobody's going to sit and read. You can't read 60 pages of disclosures. If you really want to make life easier for people, cut it down to 3 pages, 5 max, and then people will sit there for 20 or 30 minutes and read it. But nobody's going to sit and try and read through 60 pages.
We're sending you to Washington, D.C. Okay, out of
throw me in.
Out of Rancho Cucamonga, should I consider only a fixed rate or a 5-year ARM?
It depends. I know a lot of people think that it's like the Antichrist if you get something other than a 30-year fix, and that's just not true. Everybody has their own individual situation. For example, if you know that you're buying this house and it's a 3 to 5 year house, then why not get a 5-year fixed, save money every single month, and it's a much better business decision, financial
in your
decision.
business platform, you're labeling this as the Antichrist loan.
Only because ever since the big crash, you got all these people that come out and they just think that if you didn't get a 30-year fix, you were responsible for crashing the real estate market. And it's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
So during the Stump Dino segment, I'm actually trying to stump you, and it's become too easy. I have this next question that came out of Rancho Cucamonga, and I've just preempted this by getting Bill Bergschneider on the line from USA National Title. Bill, are you with us?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So the question that came up was, we get quite a few individuals that have properties held by their family trust. And so why is that people should hold their properties in a trust? And what is required when they actually sell the property?
Oh, perfect. Typically, people are going to put property in their trust typically for estate planning purposes. A lot of protection. Should somebody pass away, should somebody become incapacitated, the property doesn't have to go through probate in any way, shape, or form. The successor trustees take over and can sell that property. This happens often with high-end property. It's something that everybody may want to consider. To sell property from a trust, the trustees of that trust have to sell. So it can be really simple when you are a trustee of your own trust. Two individuals, husband and wife, can be trustees of their own irrevocable trust. They go down, they execute a trust certificate stating it's still in full force and effect, and boom, it can be sold. When you have successor trustees, the trust has to be examined because it can get a little bit more tricky. Trust can split. You can have separate family trust and community trust, and it gets a bit more complicated.
And this is where the heirs of the trust, they're just given instructions on the disposition of the property, or is it up to the heirs to decide?
Typically, that's preset by whoever sets the trust up. So the heirs are paid out to the trust, but the successor trustee is the party that's going to operate on behalf of the heirs of those successors.
So not only sidestepping the probate tax, but then you all the family infighting can be managed as well.
Very much so.
And Bill, you mentioned the word irrevocable. In what cases would it be a revocable trust versus irrevocable trust? And what is the difference?
Perfect question. Typically, people set up a revocable trust so that they can go back and change that. They can set up a trust, revoke that trust, and change it in any given day. Irrevocable, often when someone passes and the heirs take over, it becomes irrevocable. Occasionally, people set up an irrevocable trust, often when it has to do with charity, if there's a charitable remainder trust. So basically, the ability to change is revocable.
So how about when you just have a bunch of kids that don't know how to save their money properly and love to spend? Do you set it up where you just so they can't touch it afterwards?
Very much so. That's between that party and their probate attorney, the trust planner, trust attorney, regardless. But yes, typically, let's say it's husband and wife, mom and dad will have a revocable trust. Should they want to change it, once they pass, it becomes irrevocable, so the kids have no ability to fight.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Bill, thanks for coming on. It's great to get actually a precise answer. I rarely get that in the Stump Dino segment, so we appreciate USA National Title.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There you have it, folks. Thank you for joining the Dino and Nelson Show this beautiful weekend afternoon. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335 or at thedinoandnelsonshow.com. Thank you. We'll see you next week.